At the beginning of the film, we see a very scared girl who is running in the dense jungle. There was someone behind her who she was running away from. She now hides in a place where there are a lot of blood-filled bottles that are hanging there. The next moment, the person she was running away from came to the girl. Now, what she did to the girl is not shown to us. The scene ends here. In the next scene, a summer camp is shown. Here, a lot of children have come to another place to spend their summer holidays. And to take care of those children, some counselors were also present here. Actually, this camp was run by a man who was the head of the camp and his daughter. His daughter's name was Aiart, with whom his 2 sons also helped. That is, every year, he used to do the work of bringing the children here for the summer camp. This was Aiart's elder son. He had a very serious habit, while the other one was going to get along with everyone. To help them, some other members of the counselor were also present here. One of them was Aiart's son's friend, whose name was Lauren. Lauren's brother was also there. And the rest were his and Aiart's friends. She also used to come to help them every year at the summer camp. Today was the last day of the summer camp. Lauren's brother and his friend had set up a game for their entire group, which they were going to play at night. After playing, they will also leave from here. That's why it has been decided to send the children for now. Aiart's elder son was about to leave to live. He takes all the children on the bus and leaves to leave their home. After this, the head of the camp, Aiart's dad, also starts going back to his home. Here we found out that he has been running this camp since his youth. He also met his wife here. After which, they got married soon. And then his wife's death was also here. Now that Aiart's dad was quite old, he wanted to retire from his summer camp work. He has now given all the responsibilities to Aiart and his children. That's why he was going to be here for now. And now, because it was the last night, all the members of the counselor started having fun here. Started enjoying it a lot. In a joke, Aiart's son started telling everyone the story of a nurse. Once, a nurse used to work at this camp. But she started secretly experimenting on the children, in which she used to give the wrong medicines and herbs to the children. When the effect began to fall on the children, the truth about the nurse was known to everyone. After which, she was removed. Now she had no one in this world. Even mentally she was not very good. That's why she started living in these woods. While living here, she died. And still, she lives here. But, by becoming a ghost, the ghost comes to take her, so that she can take her soul with her. Now, in a joke, Aiart's son tells everyone that you pinch your finger, chew something and take out the blood. After which, call that nurse by her name, and then she will come to us too. Now, everyone feels that this is a false story. That's why everyone does this as a joke. But Lauren's brother does not do this. Aiart's eldest son, who was going to leave the children along the way, breaks down. When he went to check, he noticed that all the children had become silent. When he came back, he was very scared to see that all the children had suddenly disappeared. Seeing this, he was very nervous. Everywhere he starts looking for the children. But he does not find him anywhere. He could only hear the voices of the children. That's why he went ahead and started looking for the children. Even after going there, he did not find the children. And because this place was deserted, he could not get help. There was only a public telephone here, from which he calls his grandfather, that is, the head of the camp, Aiart's dad, and he asks him to come here for help. When Aiart's friend was standing alone, his friend came there and liked him. He talks to him and asks for marriage. But now, because Aiart's friend did not want to get married, she refused him and left from there, while his friend was standing there alone. And now he feels the strange presence of someone there. Aiart's friend had just come back and was sitting there. That's when his friend immediately came there. His condition had become strange. He suddenly lost control and started throwing stones at his friend. After which, he beats him so much that he throws the burning fire there. All of them got burned. She was screaming because of the pain. Her condition became very bad. That's why she dies. Although everyone was stopping her friend, she was trying to control him. But he had gone so crazy that he could not be controlled. While stopping him by mistake, he was stabbed by Lauren's friend. Due to this, he was also injured. Seeing this, everyone was very nervous. She runs quickly and comes to Aiart. And she tells him about the whole situation. She picks up the phone quickly and starts calling the police. But suddenly, the phone explodes. Due to this, she herself also gets hurt. And now, because the environment here was very drowning and strange, Hader also started getting scared. She tells everyone to get together. Then she sends some people to bring her other friends. Who was in the other cabin? She sends her younger son to find a microphone or something like that, so that she can contact someone and call for help. Lauren goes to find first aid. That is the group of people who were injured here, to find things to help them, etc. When she went to her room, she found some papers there. These were someone's documents. She found it strange. That's why she keeps them with her, so that she can show them to Hader's younger son, because he could only tell who these documents belonged to. Lauren's brother and her friend were at one place. Then, her friend gets busy doing some work. In the meantime, Lauren's brother started trying to scare an invisible force. He got very nervous. He tells this to his friend. But she refutes that, by saying that there is nothing like that here. This is just your imagination. Now Lauren shows those documents to Hader's daughter. When she checked, these were the same nurse's documents. That is, what she told about the nurse was not a false story. It was absolutely true. And this is what Lauren tells her too. But Hader's daughter does not believe this. He says that all this is a lie, because the nurse's story is just a story, which is only used to scare children and tell them. Other than this, there is no other truth. Hader had heard both of these things. She comes to him. Looking at her, it seemed that she was very upset to hear the name of the nurse. Anyway, now her three companions were going to find Lauren's brother and his friend. So here, one of her companions says something to Hader's friend, with which she gets angry and goes ahead. Because of this, the girl's friend felt very bad, and she started fighting with her companion, who had said the opposite thing. She was getting angry. That's when she heard the voice of her friend scream. When they went to check on her, the situation there was very bad. There were a lot of bottles filled with blood, and her friend was lying there with blood all over, in a very wounded condition. Her tongue was separated, and seeing this condition of hers, the condition of both her friends deteriorates. Now those people from Hader started asking the reason for her trouble, so now she started telling her story to her son and Lauren. When I was a child, I used to come to this summer camp with my friends. Here once, I also met that nurse. She captured me and my friends. She also tried to experiment on us. And I was scared a lot. But our luck was good. We left the jungle. But the deep trauma of that thing is still inside me. This is the reason that I was scared to hear the name of that nurse. Because it is not part of a false story. It is absolutely true. Anyway, now a sheriff and police officer have come here. Who was Hader's childhood friend? And she also used to come with him to the summer camp. That's why now those people are asking for help from him. But before that, for help, he used to call someone. His car, phone, and even all the messaging devices also turn off. Now, both her friends are running. Who was also screaming out of fear. What she saw, she started telling about it. Someone attacked our friend and separated her tongue. And that place was exactly like rituals, magic, etc. are done there. Hearing this, Lauren says that this is the job of that nurse. And now hearing the name of the nurse, sheriff also gets very worried. Because in childhood, the nurse also scared him a lot. With this problem and great difficulty, the sheriff saved his life. That's why he now refuses to help them. Then a boy delivering the pizza comes here with a car. And because the sheriff was very scared, that's why he took his car and ran away from here. Lauren's brother and his friend, who were roaming in the woods, that's when she sees all the children running here. Who comes to one place and starts digging the ground. As soon as the hole opens there, the nurse's soul comes out of it, which was looking very drowny. But what a surprise! Lauren's brother could not see it. In fact, the nurse could only see her friend, and now she sends all the children, who were under her control, to attack them. The girl comes and catches Lauren's brother's friend. She kills him so much that she does not take his life. Seeing this, Lauren's brother got very scared. He quickly runs and comes to the rest, behind whom the children also came, and now she also attacks the rest. To save them, they all come to another cabin and hide. Now everyone here who was very scared is starting to argue with each other. Heather tells everyone that the nurse will lose her life because that mortal is immortal. That means she will never die again. That's why now she will kill us and take our souls. And she will not stop until those people die. Who had sent her to hell? And these may be the people who called her. That means they pinched in the beginning. The murderous ritual that was done, he worked to call the nurse. He came after hearing their call. Now Lauren's friend has a plan. I will take all these children who are currently under the control of the nurse. I will put them behind me and take them to a cabin. And when all the children go inside the cabin, then I will close the door and lock it, so that all the children will be locked inside. We will keep the children there all night. Then the next morning, as soon as the children are right, they will come back to their normal state. That means it is out of the control of the nurse, because after the night, the nurse who has hypnotized them will say they are possessed. Under her control, she will break away from the children's nurse. He does the same. I came out of the cabin and started running. Here, the children also start following him. But as soon as the children went to the other cabin, before going out, she caught Lauren's friend. Seeing this, Lauren's other friend felt he too must have come into the possession of the nurse, like the children. So instead of taking him out, he leaves the children and closes the door. Seeing this, Lauren got angry at him. What are you doing? Take him out. But he clearly forbids the friend from going out, which all the children attack Lauren's friend together. He is killed by beating him badly. Now, when we were all together in the cabin, Hader's son started coming from outside. But then a child attacks him, which somehow remained outside. In the meantime, Hader's dad came here with a gun. Hader's other son had called for help, and he also came along. And now he starts shooting guns all around the children. Seeing this, the soul of the nurse came here and takes the child with her. She also gets very angry at Hader's younger son. Everything is happening because of you. If the nurse comes back, then you are responsible for it. Why did you do that pinch thing? Hader's son says, "Forgive me. I did not do it on purpose. I made a mistake. I thought that there were stories about the nurse. I had no idea that it was true." So now Hader's dad, that is, the head of the camp, starts telling the story of that nurse. Years ago, when I started this camp, I used to stay here with my wife. Then one day, a nurse came to me for a job in a camp. There was no one else but the same nurse. I kept her on the job. But slowly my wife started getting sick, whose care was being done by the same nurse. But there was no improvement in her condition. On the contrary, she came to the point of death. On the other hand, the nurse trapped me in her love. And we both got very close to each other. And then, after a few days, my wife died. Because of this, I was very sad. Later, it was found that the medicine that the nurse was giving to my wife was not to cure her, but to weaken her. So, with this, her condition gradually deteriorates, and she is killed again. Now many months have passed. That nurse had started doing reverse experiments on children. Along with that, she started doing strange rituals and magic, which she used to take out the blood of the children, put it in bottles and hang it on the trees. When I found out about this act of hers, I removed it. But she went beyond the limit and started doing more wrong things. That's why I made a plan to kill her. I started looking for her. When I found her, I had a good chance. I killed her, because of which we understood. That was the purpose of her coming to the camp. And the purpose of using Hader's dad was the same, so that he could use the children for himself by doing this experiment on them, so that later he could control them, and through them he could create destruction. Then he says that I killed the nurse, but on her finger I had seen my wife's wedding ring, which I immediately took off and buried. Because of this, the nurse's soul got very angry. She started screaming loudly. Her soul then became a ghost, a witch. And since then, she has been living in this jungle. She has turned this place into a haunted place, and she scares the ghosts that come here. But she herself comes only when she is called. But once she comes, the game of death starts. Hader took his accomplice Lauren's brother to a place. He tied her to a tree, put a cut on her hand. She forcibly calls the name of the nurse out of her mouth, So when the nurse comes here, she takes Lauren's brother's soul with her. That is, she sacrifices herself, and her accomplice survives. That is, he was sacrificing Lauren's brother to save his life. After doing this, he ran away from there and starts going towards the car quickly. But then a possessed child comes here, puts gasoline on it and sets it on fire. Seeing this, everyone came there. But he was very jealous. But he was alive. Here Lauren asks him about her brother. Where is he? But here, he does not tell the truth. I have tied him to a tree. In fact, he started doing strange things with Lauren, which made him so angry. She starts beating him. She beats him so much that she takes his life. Many people are thinking about getting rid of the nurse. Lauren's brother says that I did not see the nurse anywhere. When Lauren asked the reason for this, he said that was the reason I did not see her. It may be that I did not participate in the initial ritual. That is, I did not take out my blood by pinching. Along with me, Hader, his father, and his son also did not call the nurse. I did not participate in this ritual, so she was not even visible to them. Anyway, now they decide to fight her by staying together, and the rest of the people who were not part of the ritual, they also pinch and do the ritual, and become part of this thing. Now they started thinking that if the nurse is physically attacking us now, then it means that she is still in human form. And this is the right time and opportunity to finish her. Hader and his dad are now separated, while the rest of the people separate to find the nurse. Now all three hear the voice of Lauren's brother screaming. As soon as Hader's son came to the place behind the voice, it was found that he was not Lauren's brother. In fact, she was a nurse who had just taken the form of Lauren's brother. And she separates Hader's sons though, and runs away from there. That means she cannot even take the form of other people, seeing her throat Hader's other son and Lauren come and take care of her. But she had lost a lot of blood. That's why he breaks the dam in her hands. Both are very sad to see. There, the nurse comes and catches Hader. Now Hader's dad comes and stops him. Guns stand on him. Actually, he had laid a trap to catch the nurse, because then Lauren comes and attacks him with an arrow. But this does not do much for him. But now she shoots Hader's dad with that gun, and runs away from there quickly. But now Hader, his son and Lauren, somehow find him, and get control over him, and she tells him to fix everything. But she gets control over all three, and starts strangling him, and she starts laughing like a witch. But as soon as they save their lives, they attack him heavily. After killing him a lot, they take his life. He should not be alive again. That's why now his pieces are broken. Then he was thrown in the water, so he never came back. After which it was morning. A police car came here, in which there was an officer. Actually, Lauren's brother had brought him, who somehow survived. He had come to save his life anyway. But seeing the terrible scene here, his soul trembles. And with this, the story of this movie ends here. Thanks.